So hello everybody, that was a lot of handshaking. A huge congratulations to all the prize winners. So I thought my school in North London was impressive until I came here today. It's put my school to shame, that's for sure. So I'm Dr. Ally Jaffee. I'm a junior doctor in the NHS and I've been one for 3 years, and I'm about to embark in a career in psychiatry. I'm also a coach and a fellow human being. And finally, I'm a patient too. I've struggled with my own mental health, and I had a breakdown 6 years ago during medical school. I want to show you all today that vulnerability can be strength. I'm technically recovered and on the other side now, well, mostly, as we know that we're all a work in progress and recovery isn't linear, but rather a jagged zigzag. At one point in my life, it was filled with darkness, but now I choose to live in colour and, of course, dress in colour too. I do accept that there will be some grey or even bleak blackness along the way. But the good news is that there are many tools out there to help our minds thrive. I'm now armed with these tools, and I so wish I'd been taught them back in primary school or even in secondary school before I reached crisis point at university. I believe that the sooner we learn how to understand our own psychological system, the better we'll be. A better student, a better teacher, a better parent, carer, employer, doctor, and of course, leader. Our minds can be our greatest weapon, but also our greatest asset. My favorite writer, Young Pueblo, wisely states, "The mind is a garden. What we decide to grow there will determine our prosperity." So I want you all to consider today, what are you growing in your garden, your mind? In my darkest days, my internal monologue was full of self-criticism, and I was deeply unkind to myself. After receiving therapy and coaching, I realized something key. I was living in fear. That fear being false evidence appearing real. In other words, I'd made up stories and false narratives that became entrenched as self-limiting beliefs of who I was, what I could go on to do, how I should act and behave. I believed I couldn't show emotion, and that sharing my vulnerabilities with others would make them believe I was inadequate, especially as I was pursuing a career to be a doctor. What I've come to realize now is that I am not my thoughts. Thoughts can be random, misleading, and sometimes totally unhelpful or even harmful. But we don't have to invite these weeds into our garden. We all have innate well-being and innate resilience. It's not a case of some people are born happy and others are born resilient and others aren't as lucky to do so. My favorite metaphor to describe this idea goes something like this. If you imagine a cloudy day, which isn't uncommon here in the UK, but in Seaford's pictures it sounds like every sports day is a sunny day, I just want you to remember this, that the sun is always there even on a cloudy day. It's just covered by these clouds. The sun is your innate well-being and resilience, and the clouds are your thoughts, your self-limiting beliefs. We all have the ability to uncover our sun and thrive in life. This isn't about toxic positivity. Of course, there will be cloudy days. But being able to recognize when your mind is playing tricks on you is life-changing and can allow you to uncover your sun, your well-being, much more quickly. This is what resilience means to me. This is my foundation, my soil for success in my garden, my mind. Now, for the seeds I continue to plant to allow my garden to bloom rather than bust. Seed 1, purpose. This is key once a foundation has been established and your soil is healthy. Purpose alone won't lead to success. I'm lucky that I've known since I was a teenager that I've wanted to do psychiatry and work in mental health. Seems a bit strange that that's the case. But why? Because sadly, I lost my maternal grandfather to suicide when I was just 2 weeks old. He was a doctor in South Africa, and learning about this when I was a little bit older sowed the seeds for my career path. Seeds 2 and 3, courage and self-belief. This means being a possibilitarian, which is just one of my favorite phrases. It means believing that possibilities are endless and you are capable and have everything that you need within to be a success. Never could I have imagined that I'd be on TV with Jamie Oliver, been invited to meet our King of England, or go on to win multiple national awards. But I have, and I've always believed that I am capable of these big things, even before I had the evidence to show it. Seed 4, action. I'm an old soul, and to quote one of my all-time favourite singers, the King of Rock, Elvis, a little less conversation, a little more action, please. To be a change maker, just take that first step with whatever goal you have. Just as the acorn contains the mighty oak tree to grow into, we, as humans, have everything we need within us to fulfill our dreams and ambitions. When the inner conditions are right, you'll be surprised at what emerges. Don't let the perfect be the enemy of the good. As the Dalai Lama says, if you think you are too small to make a difference, try sleeping with a mosquito. Something is always better than nothing. I believe success is always about progress over perfection. Taking the plunge, failing fast, and learning from these failings to progress. Seed 5, connection. As the author Helen Keller points out, alone we can do so little, together we can do so much. Never underestimate the power of human connection and kindness. I've never regretted asking for help, whether that's in the professional sense, in my workplace, on the wards in the NHS, or when I've been personally struggling. We can learn so much from others and are absolutely stronger working together than apart in our silos. It's all about collaboration over competition. Community is everything, and finding your tribe of like-minded individuals is the greatest medicine, in my opinion. Go out there and find these people. Social media is so often demonized, but it can be the greatest vehicle to find these meaningful and worthwhile lifelong connections. And lastly, find your mentors. I wouldn't be standing here before you today without having stood on the shoulders of giants in my field. I told you we crossed over with a quote. Early on in medical school, I found my mentors, people to guide me, to learn from, and to hold me accountable. They've been my greatest teachers, and at any stage in your life, you can find a mentor. And lastly, seed number 6, authenticity. Don't be afraid to be yourself. Don't allow systems to squash your personality and uniqueness. It's okay to say I don't know. It's okay to say no. It's okay to say yes, but not yet. And finally, it's okay not to be okay at times. It just means that you're human. Thank you.